Welcome. In front of me is a Motorola Edge 20, and counterintuitively this phone was actually released this year, 2021. So anyway, I'm gonna go over unboxing of this device today and also just a quick overview of it along with its specs. So just pop it open. There we go. We'll get some dust in here, a little bit of debris. So anyway, let's just get it out of here. Now, as you can see, it automatically comes with the case already on. Just whip that out, and here we got, I believe, paperwork. Yeah, that's how you get it out. And a SIM ejector, so just a typical garbage. Then we got a cable, Type C to Type C. Wow, that's actually a surprise. So both ends of the cable are Type C. Kind of like this. Now a lot of people might not find this very helpful because it does limit you to how many things you can plug it in, just the cable. But probably already have some Type C to Type A USB lying around from other older devices. And obviously the charger will be Type C, as you can see right here. So nice newer charger. And this charger is, I believe, 30 watts, if I can actually find anywhere the wattage on it. Without actually ripping this off, I don't really want to take that off, whatever. But on paper it says it's 30 watts, so anyway, let's yeet that to the side, look at the phone. Now one thing that already kind of strikes out right when I get this phone in my hand is just the really sharp design of it. As you can see, it is fairly angular. It kind of reminds me of iPhone, which honestly I don't really mind it, but it still fits really nicely in hand, and additionally it is a really light phone. Now peel that off. There we go. There we go, that was nice. So let's turn it on. Damn, that phone actually looks really nice, considering it is a what I would call a mid-range device. So what I mean by that, it comes at a price range of 500 euros, which is what I would consider a mid-range. And that display looks really nice, to be honest. Now one thing that I have to mention, the phone is a little bit big. It is bigger than what I would consider comfortable for me to use. But the display, overall the device itself is really light considering the size of it. So that's really weird. I assume majority of the device is probably plastic and aluminum with a minimum amount of like glass. So I don't think this is glass at the back, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna actually quickly check while I'm setting this up. So let's see. Yep, so the back is plastic like I expected. Now I'm gonna lower the brightness of the device once I'm done with the setup, because it is a little bit too bright for the camera right now. There we go, I think that's good enough. So right off the bat you can get to see the really nice display. Now going actually to the specs of this, oops, not widgets. This device has a 6.7 inch display, which is a fairly chunky display, to be honest. See if there's any kind of wallpapers built in. Oop, apparently there isn't, so this is the only wallpaper that it comes with. I'm already using the gestures, so I'm not sure why I would be trying them out. Okay, so continuing with the display, it's a 6.7 like I mentioned. It's a 1080p by 2400 display, so just a typical display. Honestly, for this size, even though it is one of the bigger displays, I don't really see a reason to make display or the resolution any higher. And additionally, it's an OLED device or display, which provides you with this super dark blacks, basically pixel off blacks. So on OLED, any kind of pixel that is fully black, like basically the entirety of majority of this wallpaper, those pixels are basically turned off. They are actually not being lit up right now. That's what provides this super nice contrast. Additionally, it's a 144 Hz display, again, top notch. HDR10 Plus, it's an OLED, so you'd expect it. And it has a Gorilla Glass 3 at the front. Also has an 89% screen to body ratio, which again looks really stellar. You can see it right here. Now on camera it might not look as good, but honestly when you're holding this in your hand, it looks really nice. And I really like the fact that they kept it basically even all around. So the amount of bezel is basically the same as it is, well, the same all around. You don't have like a bigger bezel at the top or at the bottom anywhere. They're basically even, which really enjoy this. And lastly, pixels per inch right here come to be at 385 pixels per inch, which is what you would, I would say, expect from this size of a display with a 1080p resolution. And just to clarify this, that's not a problem. I much rather prefer to have a typical 1080p resolution on a device because that's what I would consider a sweet spot. Some people might see pixels, I personally don't. Now when you would go to 720p, you already will start seeing like image quality loss. So the density of it will be way lower. So this is the best resolution I would consider for a phone, and because of that you will also have a better battery life with this kind of resolution if comparing to devices that have like 1440p or 4K resolution for some reason. So anyway, let's move to the cameras, which are at the back. So you can see a triple camera setup, and the main shooter is a hefty 108 megapixel wide sensor. Then we have a 8 megapixel telephoto and 16 megapixel ultra wide. And with those cameras, at least the main one, you can shoot videos at 4K 30 frames, 1080p 3060, 120 and 240. Now I believe the 240 is a slow-mo, along with the 720p 960 frames. That's most certainly a slow-mo, and it is a frame rate straight out of a Samsung playbook. And then if we flip to the front, as you've seen, there is a little hole punched camera right here, which is barely visible normally. So there it is. And that is actually another fairly hefty sensor of 32 megapixels on the front, but unfortunately it only records footage, or the quality of it is basically capped at 1080p 30 frames, so you're not going to be getting that great of a image quality out of the front one. And then going to the last part, which is just the pure specs of the device, we have a underfinger display, or a side-mounted fingerprint sensor right over here on the power key. It's not assigned right now, so I'm just gonna unlock it normally. Then it has a Snapdragon 778G. It's a 5G chipset, so you already have the connectivity of 5G. Has a couple of versions in terms of how much storage you have. So we do have, we have the 128 gigabyte storage and 256 gigabyte storage. I'm gonna also quickly check if we can expand it further using an SD card. Actually, I just put on that case for no reason, to be honest. Okay, so it's at the bottom. Unfortunately, we cannot expand the storage here any further. So if you're planning to use more than 128 gigabytes of storage on this device, do go for the higher one. Personally, I would probably recommend you to go for the higher one anyway, considering photos and videos recorded, for instance, like at 8K will take significant amount of storage, so the 128 gigs might not be enough. So keep that in mind. I do recommend you to go for the higher one if you can. And unfortunately, additionally on that, the storage right here, we have the UFS normal storage, so it's not like super fast one, like 3.1 or something like that. So again, recording at 4K will not be as great as it is on other flagship devices. Now, to be fair, the price range right here is mid-range, and the device already punches way above its weight, in my opinion, with the display being so good and the cameras. So there need to be shortcuts taken somewhere, and it looks like it is in terms of the storage and, well, non-expendable storage right here. So anyway, going on, it has a 4000 milliamp hour battery built into it, and honestly that seems a little bit small considering the sheer size of this device, but I guess it also provides the fact that, adds to the fact that it's so light. The device is really light and super slim. I mean, with this case on right now, I think it's slimmer than my phone. So yeah, and if you take the case off, this device is basically as minimal as it can get. Now obviously the display itself is huge. Now when it comes down to charging of this battery, we have a 30-watt charger, so it comes right here. So again, charging should be good enough here as well. Now there is unfortunately no Qi charging or any kind of stuff like that. Just what I would consider the most essential parts, and the things that come with the device are basically done really well. So we have decent, I guess, battery, you can call it decent for the size that this device is at, with a really good charger. We have adequate amount of storage for this device. Would like to see an expandable storage though. And honestly, the cameras and the display itself is just stellar. So that's basically what I can say about this device. Now, I haven't used it for prolonged periods of time, so I don't know how well it will perform over time. But at first impression, this device is really nice, and especially for the 500 euro price range, I can't really complain about it. It seems really nice. And just to compare it maybe to some other thing that I recently was dealing with, the phone, it was the Xiaomi Black Shark 4. Now that is a gaming phone, and it would come around the same price range, but it provided a little bit more in terms of well, gaming features. So you had like triggers and stuff like that, and the cameras were most certainly worse than the ones that are right here. In terms of refresh rate and display, I believe they were basically the same. So if you're looking for something a little bit more gamery, then maybe that will be the choice for you. But if you're looking for just a straight up good phone, I believe this should do the job. It is really nice, to be honest, at a first glance. So anyway, this will conclude the overview of this device, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.